Hey everybody, it's Rachel with Rachel Q Stitches and welcome to my channel. Today is Tuesday, May 6th, 2025, and this is FlossTube number 131. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. This is a channel mostly about cross stitch. Every now and then you might see some crochet or quilting or some other stitchy goodness, but for the most part, I talk about cross stitch, and this today is no exception. It is all cross stitch. If you're a returner, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you stopping by. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. I really appreciate it. It helps my channel grow and it helps get the word out about this wonderful hobby of ours. Okay, so May, I had a new start. Let me see, a new start, a slight change of plans. And I pulled out an old whip, something I haven't done in a while, and we'll talk a little bit about that when I get to it. So let's get started with my new start. My new start is Mini European View. This is by Artisy, and I am doing this with blushing pink stitches. And so I got a total of 389 stitches for a total of 1.46%. And this is what I love about Artisy's minis. They're quick to stitch up. So here is what I have done. Now I am doing this on 18 count, and I started doing 2 over 1 stitch, which I knew better because I use 2 over 1 when I do full stitch. So why I did that, I don't know. So I switched it over to 4. So right here is the 2 over. I'm gonna have to go back with some, I'm gonna have to go back. I'm not liking the look of it. But anyway, that is what I got done. So I'm doing my typical starting in the lower corner right here. And that's it. That's what I have done. I had these grand plans to do diagonal stitching. I can't do that. I am just a standard cross country. I am trying to fill in 10-inch squares if I possibly can. Like this first one is filled in. And so I am trying to get that done. So the next time I pick it up, I'm going to try to fill in these, this area right here. At least get all that stitched in. So there you go. So this is a new start. It's a new full coverage start. And I'm going to try to get 1,000 stitches in this month, which I already have 389. So we're on a good roll here. Unless, you know, the creek don't rise, which I'll be talking about that in personal stuff. But anyway, so that is it. I am using DMC floss. So I use DMC in most of my stuff, but every now and then you'll see something with CXC. Alrighty. The next thing I stitched, okay, I did not work on any of my whip go pieces. So I'm gonna talk about whip go stitching. No whip go pieces at all for May yet. And those 2 May whip goes are City of Love and God Shed His Grace. So hopefully this week I can get working on those. Okay, so the next thing that I worked on was a stitching shelf by artwork by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven Earth Designs. I am doing max color, regular size version right here. That's it, if you don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm trying to do mine seasonally. So right now, I just started it. I am working on the spring. Put that right there. And I got stitching shelf, 205 stitches for a total, sorry about that, y'all. Okay, for a total of 2,348 stitches, and I'm at 0.63%, which I think is pretty good. Pretty good. I try to work on this at least 3 times a week. So basically, you know, I'm still just trying to get all this filled in. Like I said, I believe this is where spring ends. Funny story. I went, well, let me finish talking about this and I'll tell my story. But anyway, so I just tried to fill in all these colors. You know, like my 38, you know, my store about 3800s seem to be missing. And so I'm just doing the best I can just to fill in any blocks that I find. So I'm really hoping this week to get all this stuff just filled in. So I'm liking my progress. I'm trying to set myself a goal of a weekly stitch count, but I'm not quite sure what to do just yet. I need to do some math, and then I need to look at it and see if it's really achievable right now in this point of my life. So that's a stitching show. Okay, funny story, y'all. I am not the most organized person on the planet. I'll admit it. I love when things are organized, and to a point I have things organized, but it's not like OCD organized. You know, it's not like people will look at my organization and go, that's not organized. My husband looks at it and goes, you know where everything's at? That's all that matters. So anyway, so I could not find my 3,800 floss. So the way I organize my floss is I have a master set, and then I have a bag of each number, like, you know, all the 0 to, you know, 99, 100 to, you know, 199, you know, I have them organized like that. Well, I could not find my 3,800 floss at all. It didn't fit in my double-sided box, and I never got around to bobbinating it to the point where I could have it at least in a separate box. And so I looked and looked, and it was stressing me out because a lot of those stitches are 3,800s, and I could not find them. So I went to Michael's, and thank you, Laura, Stitching by the Shore. I used my senior discount, and I bought one of every 3,800 they had. Just went, I bought it. Of course, then I go to Michael's and realize, Hobby Lobby right next, they had all the 3,800s, and they're like 20 cents cheaper a skein. Anyway, so, but I almost bought some more there. I was like, I'm gonna go grab some more, but I didn't. Well, I was moving some stuff around in my bedroom, and I have a stack of like my Bibles and my notebooks and stuff, just kind of in a corner that, you know, I pull when I'm reading, I pull it onto the bed, and then when I'm done, I just kind of stack it. It's just a little stack. And I moved that stack, y'all, behind it. It had fallen like to the bottom. I don't use the whole stack, obviously. It's just, you know, reference books, and I pull what I need. Behind it, like tucked under my dresser, was my bag of 3,800. I found them all. So now I have at least 2 of every 3,800 floss, which is good. I'm glad. I like having my backup, so that's nice. But so now, hopefully this week I can get those 3,800s, and I can start working on all those blank spots that y'all keep seeing right here. All these are 3,800s that I don't have, that I need a stitch. So hopefully this week I can get all that filled in. And it's been stressful because it's like I don't want to move too far inward. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's my story of my 38. So that's my part of my haul for this week is one of every color 3,800, which I didn't need. Anyway, backstory, rabbit trail. Okay. So the next thing that I worked on is Autumn Street. And Autumn Street is a design by My Brave Stitch on Etsy. This is it right here. I love working on this. I'm doing it on a 14 count. I'm using, 2/1 CXC floss on this one because I had it and I had every color. And so I went ahead and used that. And it is fun to stitch because it is small. There are big blocks of color, and it is on 14 count. So it's kind of I usually stitch this last when I'm getting kind of tired. So this is it right here. And look, you can start seeing the town and everything. It's so neat. When I unfolded it and I looked at it real good, I was like, man, you can see the town. So it's looking really, really good. So the way I'm doing this right now is I'm picking a color, in this center part that's not stitched, and I'm just trying to color complete it if I can. I try not to go too far, but if I can color complete it, I will. And so that's what I'm doing. It looks so good. So I have another one by her. I have actually two more. And she has a spring one now, which is really pretty. She has a holiday town, which is pretty. So I think that I might pick those up and stitch those because they're just so pretty. And I like it because it's not the same town, but it's kind of the same idea. And it's all hoop finish. Okay. So Autumn, did I tell you what I did? 443 stitches for a total of 3,748 stitches, and I'm at 28.20%. So that's fun. Okay, so the next thing I worked on was the Nativity. This is by Donna Gelsinger, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I am, again, starting down here somewhere. And I am doing this with CXC threads. And I did 257 stitches for a total of 1,925 stitches. And I reached 1.03%. Look at that. So that's what I have done. So this one too, I am filling in these ninjas, y'all. I am going through and filling in as much as I can. And then of course, moving up. So, I thought about two things, and I think I mentioned this, like, doing like a 10 by 10 type of thing or a page finish. And I looked at the page. I think I might try to finish the page. Well, at least, work within the page, I should say. I don't know. I just like stitching, but I'm going to try to fill in all those little ninjas. I'm going to try to pick it up again this week and fill in all those little ninjas that I have in there and get those done. And I do have to say, I like gridding as I go. I find that the pre-gridded stuff starts to wear off after a while. So I'm liking this gridding as I go. And I moved my little things too far. I would show you which ones I use. They're a fine tip waterproof marker. So that's the Nativity. Okay, the next one I worked on is something you have not seen in a while. And I started working on this because I started using Cross Stitch Saga. Now, it's a Russian app. And so I'm upset because I can't get it on my Kindle because Google won't let me buy it. But I was able to get it on my iPad. And what I like about it is you can do back stitching and you can do partial stitches. So I went and I was able to find the dimensions kits that I own. Now they have them all. I am not, and I say they, there are people who create saga files for all the dimensions kits. I just have the ones that I own. In fact, the lady that gave them to me had me send her pictures of my kits that I had so she could see that I had them. And then she sent me the saga files. Anyways, neither here nor there. But I did find the Gathering Honey saga file, which is nice because it is backstitch. So since I owned the chart, I went ahead and got the saga file. Anyhow, I don't have a picture of it. I'm gonna try to put it right here for you guys. All right, and I didn't check my stats on Saga. Anyway, this is what I did. Now, for some reason, when I started stitching this, I used the wrong color. It was supposed to be this color. I was not going back and ripping all that out. So I just left it. You know what? I mean, who cares? I don't think it detracts from the design any. So basically I worked on all this. I stitched all this stuff right here, just across. This is fabric dyed by me. It's a 28 count. So I hand dyed it. And then I worked a little bit on this. So that's what I have done. And having it digital is so much nicer. I really love digital charts. So that's right there. I was thrilled to pull this out. Thrilled. Because when I looked at it, I was like, really, I need to get working on this. I really love this chart. It's so pretty. So that's Gathering Honey. I did 99 stitches on that. And I ran out of thread. Otherwise, I would have done 100. Okay, so the next one that I did was Amish Life. It is published in the, let me see, is it Cross Stitching Country Crafts, I think, 1987. This is it as one piece. That's how I'm stitching mine. I was able to find some loose charts that somebody had sent me from a magazine when I first started stitching it. And so I was able to find those. So even though I can't find my book, that's my lack of organization skills. I'm taking out the hoop. I'll still be able to stitch it because I did find the next chart. Okay. And this is it. Right here. So I basically did 195 stitches of this green right here. You can see the outline of a chicken, some little chicks. So that is what I did. Now, when I originally started this, I was doing 25/7, and I'm trying to decide if I want to pick that up again because I was really, really making progress on it. I think it's Carolyn Zook, C-Zook Stitch. I think she does a different 25/7 per month, and I might do that. I might do that on some pieces I really want to get done. So there it is. I still love it. Lots of back stitching, but I love it. Love it, love it. So that is Amish Life. All right, and the last thing I worked on was my books of the Bible. This is by My Big Toe. I'm doing mine a little different. I am stitching my books of the Bible in purple fancy floss because I had a bunch, but everything else is going to be similar, using my own floss choices. So let me take it out the hoop. We finished reading, let me see, I think last time we had 1st and 2nd Samuel done, 1st and 2nd Kings, and we're on Chronicles. I'm stitching the books as I read them, and then I'm trying, which it's not working, because lately I've been listening to I listen to my Bible. I've been listening to it after I bring the girls to daycare, so I'm in the car. So here it is right here. I'm stitching the colors, the different genres and different color purple. So you really can't see that purple right there, but those are the historical books. These are the books of the law. We got Job, poetry. And down here is where I'm going to start the word Chronicles for 1st and 2nd Chronicles. Oh, I can't see this. There we go. 1st and 2nd Chronicles. So that's it. That's what I got done. This has made me, this has reminded me that I don't like linen. I just don't. It's too soft. It's too floppy. It's too slubby. If I'm going to stitch on something that's not Aida, I'm going to do even weave from now on. Even though I have linen, I might do it for some smaller things, but something big like that, I just can't do it. Okay. All right. So May plans. Now I know I talked about them a little bit last week, but I was watching, I think it was Dina half stitch cross stitch, but I could not find the video to reference. But she was doing, I think it's her, y'all, if it's not, I'm sorry, but I think it's her that's doing a May Monday starts. I think it's her. And she pulled out a chart that I knew I had, and I looked for it and I could not find it. And I was upset because we moved my sewing room and I knew where it was in the old sewing room, but I don't know where it went. And I was devastated because I really wanted to start it in May. And I was looking through a bin that I used to keep under my sewing machine. And when I would do my floss tubes, I'd film it at my sewing table. And I had this bin that I would just, like, you know, all my papers and stuff, I would just throw them down there while I was filming. Well, apparently it got stuck under something. And so I was never able, it got stuck under some fabric. So I knew there was some fabric in there, and I knew it was a specific fabric I was looking for. And when I moved one of the pieces of fabric, there was the chart. Okay, so I'm talking about 3 charts that I want to finish. The other 2 I showed y'all, I think it was last week. But this is the one I want to start probably. So I have my mini European view. And then I got these 3 that I want to start in May, every Monday. And that's this one. This is the Dressmaker's Daughter. I love this chart. When I first bought it, I did not realize it was seasonally. And so I'm not going to stitch it seasonally. I'm just going to stitch it. So I have all the Karen Water lilies in my cart at 123 Stitch. I just need to put the fabric. I am going to use Ada. I'm going to put the fabric in there, and I want to start this. So that is Dressmaker's Daughter. It's so pretty. Let me take it out of here. It's just so pretty. Look at it. I love it. I love Nora's stuff like this, you know, versus her her fairies or her, you know, mermaids, and I don't know, these like this, and the Gathering Eggs, and even Princess Eliana that I'm doing. I love those. But this one, for some reason, do you remember, okay, Brooks Books. I don't know if you remember Brooks Books. She's got some really great charts, and I don't know if you know, she passed away recently, and her family's having a hard time getting the legal rights to her stuff, because she was sole proprietorship, and from what I understand, she didn't leave it with anybody. I'm not sure. I don't understand the legalese. I know secession stuff is crazy, but anyway, so her charts, but she had the Disney princesses without heads. I know this is crazy, but anyway, they were so pretty, and I wish I had bought them, and I never bought them, and I wish I had. But anyway, so this reminds me of those, and they are in dress forms though, but I love them. I love them. So I'm gonna order my stuff and hopefully get it so that I can start it next Monday. Okay, and then the other 2, I want to do this one for my oldest granddaughter. I'm going to change the hair color because she's got dark brown hair. And then I want to stitch this one for my youngest granddaughter, which I'll have to change the hair color and maybe her skin tone just a tad bit. I may leave it, I'm not sure, but she is a little darker. So if I'm doing it for her, I might do that. This one, I'm not sure how I'm going to do, because I think it's a piece of fabric that has been bleached. I really don't want to do that. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do for this one, for fabric. If anybody has any ideas or know of something or where I could get the fabric pre-done, let me know. It's stitched on Amsterdam blue linen, bleach dyed in half. I don't want to do that. Maybe I could just dip dye some fabric and do that. I don't know. Anyway, so these 2 for my granddaughters right here. So those are my plans for May. So I need to get going to ordering some fabric. Anyhow, so that hopefully I can get those 3 started in May and get moving on some other projects. Okay, that's it for stitching. That's all I have. A little bit of personal life. I mentioned the creek rising. Yes, we are about to get flooded. They're expecting, I think they said 10 inches of rain tonight. My husband's in the middle of giving finals to his seniors. This is their last week. So they're doing finals this week. He's got a final scheduled for Wednesday, and they're talking about canceling school Wednesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are half days for seniors. So those that come Wednesday to take his final aren't going to be able to take it on the other 2 days because they'll be taking other anyway. So he's like, how am I going to do this? I got to give a final. They always say don't give the finals too early for seniors. So they're like, wait till the last week. And then this happens. So he's kind of like, he's not sure what he's going to do, but they may cancel school Wednesday. I don't know. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. So we're expecting a ton of rain tonight. So anyway, it is what it is when you live in a, when you live in a wetland, you're going to get flooded. And we have the river. I kid you not, we're like 3 houses from the Vermilion River, if you know anything about my area. But anyway, there's the Vermilion River. We're like 3 houses from it. But we are 3 houses, and, we're here. and then it does this, you know, down to the river. So the river, even the houses that are on the river, when Lafayette flooded in 2016, they never flooded. There were houses that were further away from the river that flooded, but because of how our neighborhood is built up, I guess we're on a hill, we never flooded. So we don't flood. The river floods, you know, it floods its banks, but the way the houses are built up, you know, we don't flood. The road might, but our houses don't. Anyway, so we're supposed to get a ton of rain tonight. So I need to get some red beans and rice cooking so we can have something to eat. And, but that's about it. That's all my stuff. That's all my, I don't think we've had anything exciting happened. No, nothing exciting. Just the, possible flooding. And by flooding, the roads are going to be flooded, which happens when it rains a lot, but that's about it. So anyway, so let me get to cooking. Let me get to putting this thing up on YouTube for you guys so you can watch it. And then I am going to sit down and I think I'm going to work on God Shed His Grace. Maybe stitching shelf. I don't know. I'm going to get to working on something today and getting the stuff ordered for my little mirabilia and my lavender and lace charts. And I will see you guys next week. Lord willing, creek don't rise. Happy stitching, everybody. Bye-bye.